Okay, for our box here, we've got two sides the same, so we can just draw one of those sides and duplicate it. And then we have our two ends that are different, so I need to draw both of them. We need to draw our base on, we need to draw our lid in, and we need to add in our handle as well. So let's start by drawing one of our sides. So I'm just going to draw my side here. It's going to be 70 tall and 250 long. Finish my sketch, and I'm going to extrude him because I'm going to use the lid later to create my slot. Now I'm going to assume everything is 12 mil thick here, except for my lid and my base. We're going to use 3 millimeters thick. So there's one side there. If I go into my bodies, I'm going to right click and say move or copy. I'm going to be on free move, create a copy. I'm just going to drag him across here. So I now have my two sides. I'm going to jump into this plane here, and I'm going to draw my first end piece. So my first end piece is going to need to be, let's say that he's going to be 60 high. And then he needs to be 125 minus 12 minus 12, because we've said the sides, we're going to make them 12. We'll finish that sketch. We'll extrude him out, and we'll extrude him out 12 millimeters. Now, just be careful here. He's automatically gone into a cut because he's overlapping this other piece. So go back in, and we want to say new body instead. And there he is there. I'm going to jump down this end. I'm just going to draw my sketch off this plane. Same deal down here. I'm just going to go 70 tall for this other end, and then it's 125 minus 12 minus 12. There is my piece there, and I can extrude him out 12 millimeters, and there we have all of our outside pieces. So we can assemble these together and then draw on our base and draw on our lid if we'd like. So let's right click and go create component, create component, create component, and create component. So there's all four of my pieces, and then we can assemble this together. So spin him around. I'm going to choose this front piece, which is this one that's highlighted. I'm going to right click him and say ground, so he can stay in that spot. And then we can move the rest out, and we're going to assemble these together. So we're going to go for a joint, and we're going to choose the bottom corner for these two. I'm going to choose the same over here, the bottom outside corner. And then at the back here, I'm going to choose the top corner. Except I've chosen the inside one when I need the outside one. So let's cancel that one and cancel that one. I'm going to choose the outside corner to that corner there, and it should come on the inside of those pieces. I don't need to join this final corner because it's all locked in. So there is our box so far. We can then go and add on our base. So let's jump down here. I'm going to sketch off the bottom face, and I'm going to create my base. Now it's not going to lock in properly, so I'm actually going to draw it off, and then I'm going to dimension it. So it's 125 and it's 250, so that it's exactly right. I'm going to finish my sketch, and then I can extrude that, but just be careful. You might have to select everything. 3 millimeters. And there is my base. Now you'll see that it's joined itself onto this piece. So go back into it. We actually want to make a new body. So it's a separate piece. And then it's going to be sitting in here as well. So now you notice when I've drawn that, it's actually put it under component number 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually drag it out to my unsaved section here, so it's sitting separately. And I'm going to right click and say create component. I'm going to have another component. So that component sitting on the base there, it can now move around. So we don't really want that. We actually want to join them together still. So we need to go joint now that it's a component. And we're going to choose, let's just choose the outside corner here, because he can match to this outside corner here and join on nicely. So there is our base. And while we're here, we should change the color so it matches our diagram. Nice dark color. We then need to draw in our lid. So we're going to grab our lid, and I might even just draw it over here to show you that we can draw it anywhere we'd like. So we're going to come across, it's going to be 3 mil thick, and it's going to be 125. And this time I'm just going to say minus 8 minus 8. Why minus 8? Because that gives us a little bit more room to move in here. So groove for lid is 6 millimeters from the top and 6 millimeters deep. So sorry, it needs to be 6 millimeters deep. So it's 125 minus 12 plus 6 plus 6. And that should give us our groove. So if I extrude this one out, and the length of this is not going to be 250 because it's 250 minus 6, because remember our slot at the end, there's going to be a slot in this piece, is also 6 millimeters. So I have to take off our 6 as well. So there's our body. I'm going to right click on our body and create a component. I'm then going to find that component, right click and choose appearance. I'm going to change the appearance to my darker wood. And then I just need to join my lid in. So I've made it a component, so now I can join it in. Now, when I join this in, I'm actually going to use a slightly different joint. So I'm going to grab my joint. I'm going to assemble this lid. So I'm going to jump under to the bottom edge in the middle. My red is facing up, and then I'm going to join that one to the middle of this piece with red facing up. And there's my lid. Now it's currently a rigid joint, which means it doesn't move around. So if I click OK, it's stuck there. It won't move. If I go back into my joint, I can go to the motion tab and I can change it to have motion. So I'm going to go slider. Now I don't want to slide that way, so I need to change my axes. So X is up and down, so it's not that one. So I'm going to go to Y. So that's the one I want to slide. And now I need to figure out where I want it to slide. So I'm going to go, my motion limits is how far and where can it slide. So if I go and put in 50, it's going to go that way. Now I want it to actually go the other way. So I'm going to go minus 275 because my box is 250. So I want it to come out from the front a little bit. My maximum it's going to move is 50 and my rest is 50. So what does all of that mean? If I click preview limit, you'll see it comes out 275. It goes that way 50 and the rest is at 50. So I'm going to go to 0 and I'm going to leave my rest point as well. I'm going to preview that and it's coming out 275 and going into 0. So it only comes out this one direction from where it's been joined on because we don't want it to go anywhere that way. I can click OK. So now with my mouse, I can literally drag my lid in and out and it will only go to where we've told it to and it won't go any further, which is pretty cool. So the last thing we then need to do is we need to cut out our slots and combine them with our tools so we have slots in our pieces and then add our custom handle. So to cut out our slots, we grab our combine tool. We're going to target this piece using this piece. Click OK. Do the same again with our end piece using our lid. End piece using our lid. Just remember we've got to have it on cut and we're keeping our tool. And so now if I just rotate around, when I pull my lid out, you'll see where the slot is in my box, which is pretty cool. I can then add my handle. So it can be anything you like, but I'm just going to use some text as well. So let's sketch off our lid here. Create. Going to go down to text. I'm going to just click on my box here. And I'm just going to type in C for Crofts. I'm going to choose a font somewhere in here. Let's go with good old Krungthep. Sounds fun. I'm going to make him 50 high. Click OK. And then I can move him to here. Finish my sketch. Then I can extrude him up. 25. I'm going to create a new component this time. And there's my custom letter lid, which is pretty cool. And then when I drag him now, that C isn't actually attached. So let's jump into here and let's join him on to here. So we need to grab something. Let's grab the middle of this edge and let's join him onto the middle of this edge. But then we're going to give him a distance. So not up. So it's not that arrow. It's actually that arrow back there. So let's just put him back to 0. I'm going to rotate around. I'm going to grab the right arrow and somewhere about there looks all right. And so now when we move our lid, our handle comes with us as well, which is pretty cool. And that's how we can draw a pencil box with all of our separate parts and have movement in it as well.